That's what that means. Let's see if it's 29. So I will give it one more minute in case there are people on their way. I guess in the meantime, I'll just do an introduction because you might be wondering, who is this person? Who is guest lecturing in this class? So my name is Na Young. It's kind of like Na old, but Na Young, just the opposite. I don't know what your transcript or your schedule says that my name is, but my preferred name that you call me would be Na Young. You don't need to call me Prof. Juan. You don't need to call me Miss Juan. You don't need to call me Prof. Na Young. Just Na Young is fine. I appreciate the effort to try to show respect if that's why you do it, but you can show me respect in other ways. You don't need to call me by any title for me to feel respected. So I shared a bit that students volunteering for fun. And then I realized like, oh, I could do that as a career. And I had no idea. So I think naive me just thought like, oh, I got to be a professor then if I want to teach college students. But I don't really enjoy learning in the classroom. I enjoy learning by doing. So I kind of ruled that out. But I went back to school to get a master's in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. Is anyone here from the East Coast? Oh my gosh, a lone person from the New Jersey. I'm also from New Jersey. Go you. Everyone else is from the West Coast? Midwest, anybody? South? Oh my, South? Yeah. Awesome. Any international students? Okay, one. Great. Wow, this is really dominated by West Coast people. California? Okay. Washington? Oh my gosh. Cool. Welcome. I guess I don't have to tell you about Washington or Seattle then, because most of you are from here. But if you have any questions about things that are outside of the core content of this class and you would like my opinion on it, I'm happy to help and chime in. So anyway, after my master's degree in, I focused on higher education administration, and a lot of people who graduate from that program go into student-facing roles, like advising roles at the university level. And when I graduated with that master's degree, I was mostly applying to jobs in the US, and there was only one job outside of the US that I was entertaining, and it was in Singapore, which I'm not from. I had no affiliation with, but I just, found an interesting initiative out in Singapore. So I moved out to Singapore with two luggages, without knowing much, lived out there for 3 years by myself, helping build up a brand new institution called Yale and US College. After that, I wanted to move back stateside, had never lived in Seattle, but I was like, oh, it seems like a cool place. School, career advisor, did that for a year. And I recently left to work full-time at a startup that focuses on technical interviewing. If you're part of the IUGA Facebook group, you might have seen some random posts from me. I still post in it because we have things that synergize with informatics programs and students. If you have questions about what I do there, you're welcome to approach me anytime. I added some personal photos about me as well in case it helps humanize me. So I enjoy reading a lot, mostly nonfiction. Those are some books that I enjoyed last year. I love to cycle, especially when the weather is good. So I usually commute to work on my bike. I also love to travel. So this is a group of students, first-year students that I took to South Africa in my last job in Singapore for an experiential learning program. And then this summer I picked up golf. My score is terrible, but my form is okay, right? Does anyone play golf? No, not really. Okay, that's cool. Anyway. Is because that's part of the goals for this class, right? So actually, before you came in, can you raise your hand if you knew at least one person coming into this class? Okay, great. Can you raise your hand if you knew more than like 3 people coming into this class? Okay, awesome. Y'all are like all stars, but that's what I expected, right? So the goal of this class, part of the goals for this class is that you build connections and community among each other, because you're going to be stuck with each other for the next few years. And you may not necessarily like every single person here, but you will have to minimally tolerate each other. Ideally, learn how to work well together, right? And in this class, there won't be that many group assignments, but as you progress in the informatics program, there will be a lot of group projects. And the more people you know, whom you can work well with, the outcome of your group project will probably be a little higher, better in quality. So that's why I'm having us share intros, because that's part of the goals for this class. So I'll give us maybe like 30 more seconds to think about these questions. I would like everyone to share all of them, but cumulatively, your response does not need to be more than 10 seconds if you do not want it to be. But minimum bar is 10 seconds. Sorry, I said that wrong. Minimum bar for all these questions per person, you have to speak for at least 10 seconds. But you don't have to speak beyond 10 seconds if you do not wish to. Does that make sense? Cool. Would anyone like to kick us off? Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you for starting. And then we'll just go around kind of like row-ish by row-ish like this so you can mentally prepare. Thank you for volunteering.
Hi, my name is Paul. I've introduced myself to you guys like 2 times already today. This is Naomi's first time.
Oh, you all had some shared context together today?
Yeah.
All of you?
Yes.
Forced?
Yes.
Like, you don't have a choice?
Yeah. Actually, I'm not in the FIG. I dropped out.
Figs are optional, right?
Not this one.
Yeah.
Oh, is it for credit?
I dropped it and then
All the direct
I looked and I was like, accidentally.
Oh.
I thought I had to drop everything to get on the FIG, but then I didn't. And then, yeah. Anyway, but I'm in the majors Info 200, so I don't know any of them.
Okay. So most of you are in the FIG together, and all of you are taking Info 200?
Yes.
Are all of you in the same section?
No.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Maybe? Okay.
I think we're all in the same section. We haven't had our Info 200 section yet,
Okay.
but we've had our sociology section. And I think all of you are in AB. Yeah, AB.
Okay, cool. So this might not be the only time you have together. So I could probably eradicate some of this forced connection time moving forward. But since it's the first day, we'll just breeze by it because I don't know you and I would like to get to know you. Thank you.
As I said, my name's Paul. My pronouns are he, him. I consider home, I don't know, either Mercer Island or I don't know, how did I find out about info? I was looking at majors at UW, and I was thinking either comp sci or informatics, but all the comp sci majors are jerks, so I chose informatics.
That's a good reason. I really like info students for that reason too.
Yeah.
Most info students are not jerks.
These guys are cool.
Yeah,
One goal I'm working towards, trying to learn how to play the bass guitar.
cool.
My name is Yenny. I use she, her pronouns. I consider my home Mill Creek, Washington. And I found about info because I wanted to go down the data science track. And then when I looked into it, I realized that there was an informatics major at UW. One goal I'm working towards right now is not procrastinating on my assignment.
That's a great goal. Thank you for sharing that.
My name is Matthew. I use he, him. I consider my house in Kirkland home.
Where was that?
In Kirkland?
Kirkland.
Yeah. I learned about info from my brother who graduated.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that was due to what I like how versatile the degree you can have.
Mm.
Technology.
Mm.
And one goal is the community.
That's it.
name's Johanna. My pronouns are she, her. I consider my home Renton, Washington. I found about info from my brother. He was like, take this because I wanted to go into STEM, but I didn't want to do all the coding that it had in CS. And I heard info was more about computer human interactions, so I went to that. One goal I'm working towards is just like making new friends that aren't just my high school friends.
Yep.
Yeah. Hannah?
Joanna.
My name is Rachel. My pronouns are she, her. I consider Vancouver, Washington home. I found out about info through my brother who graduated with a CS degree here. And one goal that I'm looking towards, besides like finding a community here, is starting assignments the day I receive them.
Wow.
No, like not necessarily finishing.
Yeah, but starting it.
Exactly, starting.
That's great.
Helps me stay on track.
Well, I think there are assignments for this class that are already live. In Canvas?
Oh, not that good.
Yeah. But you didn't know about it. And there was no expectation for you to try that before the first day of class. But if you want to,
Perfect.
you're welcome to anytime.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Salwa. My pronouns she and her. And I consider February Washington home. How did I find about myself? I did this career expo thing years ago, and that's how I got it.
Awesome.
And one of my main goals that I'm trying to work right now is not procrastinating.
Nice.
My name is Rishi. My pronouns are he, him. I consider Redmond, Washington to be home. I found out about info through just like the website, just like looking at options in technical like fields of study. And the goal I'm working towards is like sleeping a healthy enough every night.
Great goal.
My name's Kathy. My pronouns are she, her. I consider Bellevue, Washington my home. I found out about info from my older sister who graduated from the program here. And one goal I'm working towards right now is coming up with a daily routine with onboarding.
My name is Loxley Kolakowski. My pronouns are she, her. I consider Mill Creek, Washington my home. Found out about info through my brother who graduated from Informatics. And a goal I'm working towards right now is trying to get a summer 2020 internship.
Already?
Yeah,
Summer just ended.
I know, but yeah, they started like 2 months
Yeah.
ago. I'm behind the game, so
Well,
yeah.
of course. So sorry, I don't mean to discourage you. Early preparation is great. I worked as a career advisor for 5 years before I moved to Carrot, so early preparation is greatly advantageous. If there's anyone in this room that feels like they're behind with their internship search right now, please do not feel that way.
What is Carrot anyway?
We do technical interviewing for companies hiring software engineers. So my role there is a customer success manager, which is a pretty relational client-facing role. So I work with our clients to make sure that they're satisfied using our platform, which is very data-driven. You can check out carrot.com if you want to, KARAT.com, to see what more we do there. But I work with a lot of engineers, data people, business people, but I'm not an engineer myself. The extent of my coding is Code Academy. Not impressive. Yes?
What are the chances of freshmen getting into internships?
Getting internships.
Yeah.
That is a great question. So I think it is great. If you want to do an internship next summer, that's fantastic. And I will do everything I can to support you in that search. You don't have to do an internship after your freshman year. There are many other experiences you can have that will refine your professional interest and build your resume and help you look legitimate as you get older. Another way to answer your question is, I'm going to answer your question, don't worry. It just comes with a lot of explanations. So doing an internship gets a lot more critical the closer you get to graduation, right? So essentially, a junior should almost always be doing an internship if you want to get a job after you graduate. right? The years before that is kind of like a little bit less and less important. In other words, if you start now as a freshman, you will get a wide range of experiences before you near graduation. And that will probably set you apart as a very competitive candidate. And or you will have many chances to hypothesize different interest areas that you may have, right? So you might be coming in saying like, oh, I want to do UI UX, but then you try an internship and you're like, wait a minute, right? Or vice versa for any other discipline that you're interested in. So internships are incredibly valuable, and I encourage everyone to do at least one before you graduate. It doesn't have to be this summer. To answer your question now, how likely is it for a freshman to get an internship? Your best luck is if you can find organizations that have internship programs specifically for freshmen. So large corporations have that. Early career talent programs. Apply for all those that you find right now, right? The reason that will increase your chances is because if it's specific to your year, they know that as a freshman, you won't have that much experience, and they'll be forgiving and understanding. They'll hire you for your potential. If you apply to broad internship, summer 2020 internship, you're competing against juniors, sophomores, even graduates. The number of years that they've had to build their experience, even if you're a rock star, which you probably are because you got into this program as a freshman, it's just really hard to compete. So apply to all the freshman specific or freshman sophomore specific, first or second year specific programs that you can think of. Like Google has a bold intern program if you're familiar, equivalent, etc. The second route, because not every organization has a internship program for freshmen, is to rely heavily on relationships, right? So for you, if you're thinking about doing an internship next summer, your main motivation is likely because you want the experience. Secondarily, it might be like, oh, it'd be nice to like have some side like lunch money, right? Or you need to pay the rent, right? Most people, it's that way as freshmen. So if you're really prioritizing the experience above all these other nice factors, then that gives you some flexibility, right? So for example, like, I mean, thankfully, so one strategy is like focus on a market where like you already have existing relationships and or you can get free housing, right? So being able to live at home is a great privilege. It saves you a lot of money. So focus on organizations that you can commute from home because you don't be paying that much money for the dorms or like a different city, right? Even though it's a different city, don't focus on that your first year. Focus on it like as you get closer to graduation. So is it easy? No. But if you start early, is it possible? Of course. Do info students get internships early on in their college careers? Yes. Right? Do we have a lot of data about the number or percentages of informatics students who get an internship after their first year? No. Why? Think about the number of people who are admitted into the direct admit program every year. This year is all of y'all, 20 people. I think there's 20 people in this room, right? This year is 20. That's the most it's ever been. Last year was like 15. The year before was 10, right? So do we have a lot of data points? Barely over 30, which is a statistically significant N, right? Will you be able to find people who can help you? Absolutely, right? Is the informatics community a helpful community? So helpful. You can go down the IUGA Facebook group and see all the threads of people asking, has anyone interviewed at X company? Anyone have tips for this kind of role? It's an extremely collaborative, helpful community. It's not very competitive like some majors on campus.
Yes.
Like people are very smart, but people want to help you out, right? So please tap on the current info students. Ask around, hey, do you have any suggestions of organizations that you think might be open to freshman interns? Right? Or like if you're not from here, right? And you don't have a large network from your home country or home state, you can be like, hey, like, do you know anyone who's from New Jersey? Right? If they graduate, they might be working there, right? Info grads love helping info students. I heard from a lot of your intros already. Wait, we didn't even go through all the intros yet, right? Oh my God, I'm talking too much. We gotta stop. But a lot of you heard about info because of your siblings, right? Even if it's not your blood sibling, a lot of info grads feel like this special connection with the info students and they want to help. Does that answer your question? It's possible. And there will be at least one class devoted to career advice stuff. But I'm happy to expand on it because that's my specialty. Like I worked in that field. So if you guys want to hear more than just one class on career related things, I'm happy to expand it. Yeah. Okay, let's continue with the intros. I'm sorry for talking so long.
Hi, I'm Daniel. My pronouns are he, him. I consider home White Center here in Washington. I found out about info here at UW through one of the little pamphlets that they give to the local high schools.
Oh, nice.
Said, information school on there, and it's like, that's exactly what I heard about from my neighbor, and so that's what I applied to. One goal I'm working towards is waking up at a consistent time throughout the week.
Great goal.
I am John Luke. I go by him. Place to consider home is in Kent, Washington, kind of near IKEA.
Nice.
Not like the rented side of it. I found out about info because I really like tech, and I did some coding classes at a community college, but I didn't want to only stick to that sort of side of technology, and informatics offered a lot more variety. The goal I'm currently working towards is trying to be multilingual. So I'm taking Japanese right now.
Nice.
What's your favorite anime?
Does not know yet, but he might take your recommendation.
Hi, I'm Rayon. My pronouns are he, him. My home is Redmond, Washington. I found out about info through one of my friends, and also through other friends that used to go to UW, who graduated. One goal that I'm working towards, I guess, showing up to class on time, get on all the time.
My pronouns are she, her, and I consider Norfolk, Washington home. And I found out about informatics from my brother who graduated from the high school.
Cool.
And I go on really looking towards also staying on some of the leadership applications.
My name is Jay Moon. You call me Jay. Like pronouns, he and him. I consider home Auburn, Washington, and also my born. I found out about info through tutoring. There I was able to kind of narrow down what I might be interested in. And one goal I have right now is to be more involved in school.
Sorry, could you repeat your name one more time?
Angela.
Angela, got it. Doing well in your classes? Got it.
My name is Chase Landis. My pronouns are he, him. I consider my home Silverdale, Washington, and also found about info because I wanted to do cybersecurity and data assurance, and so now this was the path to go for that. And my one goal I'm working towards right now is re-networking by campus station.
Something networking?
Re-networking the whole house.
Oh, wow.
There's like fast internet in like one corner, and there's a dead zone in another corner.
Nice.
Now I'm setting up a hub networking, so it's just seamless connection. So that works.
My name is Lucy. I go by she, her. I consider Ted to be my home. And I found out about info by looking at everyday movies. And I thought it was interesting. And all I have is just to find a way to get involved in
Could you repeat your name for me?
My name is Doris. My pronouns are she and her. I consider home child. I thought about informatics major because my high school advisor recommended this major for me. And one goal I'm working towards right now is getting through to this school.
Awesome. Did we miss anybody? Okay. So I wrote down your names just because I want to know your names. To be honest, I don't really care that much about attendance. You're all adults. You have choices. I trust that you would make good choices. If you ever have something pop up where you cannot attend class, I would appreciate you emailing me to just let me know. And I'm happy to share the recording afterwards as well. I trust that you would not abuse that kind of system. Also, I think this class is a pass-fail class. Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't want to fail anybody. I want all of you to succeed. And I don't think it will be hard to pass this class. What I would like is for you to actually learn in this class and walk away with tools and resources for some of the goals that you mentioned, right? So, these are some nice things about what the goals of this class are. Why you're paying 1 credit's worth of tuition for this class. But ultimately, what I want is I want you guys to make the most of your time in college, because college is an investment. It's an investment of your time. It's an investment of you or your family's resources. And I want you to walk away knowing that you took the most out of your college experience as you could have. So if there's anything that gets in the way of that, I would like to either help you with it or direct you to people who can help you with it. So please let me know of anything that can be helpful. I shared before that, the last goal here is learn to make wise decisions. Some of you talked about the goal that you're working on right now as relating to that goal. I was very happy to hear about those things. The struggle is real. The struggle for sleep in college is real. The struggle for making real friends is real. And that's all on top of your baseline expectation to do decently well in your classes, right? So, I told you that I shared earlier that I studied business as an undergraduate student. I don't remember much from my undergraduate education, which was more than 10 years ago. I'm a little older than you might think I am. But there's one principle in basic economics. Has anyone taken an economics class before in high school? Cool. Macroeconomics? Cool. So you're probably familiar with one of the baseline principles of macroecon is that everything in life is a trade-off, right? We all have choices, and all the choices that we make comes at a trade-off of something else. When we want one thing, it comes at the cost of something else. Hello, Info 198. Direct admit. Does this person look familiar to anybody? No? Okay, you might be in the wrong place. You're welcome to come in if you end up being the wrong place. So when I was a freshman, some of the upperclassmen told me that in college there are 3 main S's, and most times you can only do 2 of these S's well. Right? It's really hard to do all 3 of these S's to the extent that you wish to. Many of you in this room might be quite achieving people, right? If you got into this program as a freshman, like academically, you're probably pretty strong. You're probably near the top of your class for your high school graduation. In college, it is unlikely you will be at the top of your class. I'm not saying that to be discouraging. I'm just saying you don't need to be striving to be the top of your class, right? Getting into the info program, first of all, is already top of UW class of 2023, right? So the fact that you're in info, honestly, just rest assured. If you're worried about like employment afterwards, rest assured, right? Do employers care about your GPA or your C? I forgot what the phrase they use here for your grades, cumulative, whatever it is, they don't care. They care about your experiences more than your transcript, right? So should you pass all your classes? Yes. Do you need to get, is 4.0 the max? A 4.0 in all your classes? Absolutely not. Honestly, like I'm not joking around here. Like I worked in student service. I worked at MGH 420, right? But I still don't know because employers don't care. Employers care about what experiences you've had and the skills you've developed. They don't care about your grade per se, right? So like if you came here thinking I'm gonna get a 4.0 in every class, I would like you to loosen that goal. That's not an important goal. The more important goals are the goals that you shared with me 10 minutes ago. Those are the lifelong skills, right? Like once you graduate, do people care about your GPA? No. Do I remember my college GPA? Maybe. Has anyone asked for it since I graduated? No. I was like, what? Why did I study so hard then? No one cares, right? So anyway, I want this class to be about developing lifelong skills, right? I don't care about the grade, your attendance. If you're developing lifelong skills, I'm happy as an instructor. And like I mentioned, this is not my full-time job. I'm taking time out of my workday to come and do this because I care about students developing lifelong skills. So expectations for this class, it will be great. I just have 4 expectations for the class. These are things I expect from you, and these are things I expect from you to show each other. Please show respect to each other. Please take every opportunity to learn, not just from me, but from each other. Please communicate. So if you have a need, please let me know or let someone else know. Example, you might find it a little strange that I'm standing right now. It's just because I have a really hard time sitting. Like I just cannot sit still for more than 20 minutes. So I'm probably gonna be standing most times that I'm here. It's not because I wanna be like, I don't know, it's just, and some of you have other like unusualities or unique peculiarities that enhance or inhibit your learning. If you need to let me know of them, please let me know privately. You don't need to tell the whole class. If you don't want to tell me, you don't have to tell me. As long as you're not distracting other learners, right? So for me, another peculiarity is I drink a lot of water and I go to the bathroom really frequently. Ideally, I would like to not leave this classroom in the short 15 minutes that we have together, but there might be a chance that I have to go to the bathroom. If I have to go, I'm gonna go. And for you, if you need to go to the bathroom, please, you don't have to ask. Like, just as long as you're not distracting other people, I don't care. If you need to be on your laptop or your device, as long as you're not distracting other people, that's okay with me. Generally though, generalization, I would say, being engaged is a show of respect, right? And a class isn't that long. And if you're getting bored, then I'm not doing something right. So I will pick up on those cues to breeze through things. And then lastly, I would like you to enjoy your time in this class. I'm not here to play around. I'm not here to fail anybody, right? I'm here because I'm passionate. And I want you to have fun as well. Are there other expectations that y'all have for this class, like ground rules as we communicate together for the next, I don't even know how many weeks the quarter is, but whatever until December something is. No? Okay, 3:03, we have 17 minutes left. So this is a high-level view of what is being covered in this class. It was also posted in Canvas, which has a detailed outline of the syllabus and assignments. Can I get a show of hands of how many people have logged into Canvas? Oh, great. So no one has issues with it, right? I mean, no technical issues with it. You might have issues with what's written on the page, but great. So Canvas is gonna be our main portal for most things. All the assignments are there, all the if you wanna know, if you like to plan ahead and you wanna know what we're doing Thanksgiving, you can check that. A lot of these involve guest speakers because it's kind of boring to hear just one person talk all quarter. So next week, we're having a session with current info students, and they're going to talk about their failures and their successes, because it's really hard to think about failures sometimes because we don't talk about it that much, right? But we are all going to fail. if you have not failed yet in your life, like, man, you have lived a very protected life, I would say, right? And you are going to fail in the coming weeks, months, years. And by fail, I actually don't like using that word. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to make bad decisions, but you're going to learn from them, right? And they're actually really fantastic. Any other items that you would like covered in our short class together that's not already mentioned? So I heard a little bit about like internship search stuff. I'll try to emphasize that a bit more. Anything else that y'all want to hear about? I'll try to find some people who found internships as first or second years for that session. Okay, you don't have to tell me now. You could email me privately if you have an idea later on, or if you just don't feel comfortable talking in this class. But I am genuine in wanting to know if there are things that you would like to hear more of, because I want this time to be valuable to you and not just, like what I thought was best for us. I have this exercise, but I'm not sure if I want to do it. It's very like residence hall, forced bonding, which I think y'all are kind of tired of. So I'm going to skip it, but I think it is a valuable exercise for us to think through. I mean, y'all already shared goals with me. I would like you to personally think about a fear that you have and a question that you have about college. Actually, I think the only part I really care about is the last part. The fear is more for you to recognize. So recognizing that you have a fear about X, Y, or Z, and then you can share that with whoever you would like to, whether it's your family or your close friends or your roommate, or you can keep it to yourself if you don't want to share it with anybody else. But a question that you have about college. So I'll just pass around these Post-its. I think you just take one Post-it. The color doesn't matter. And just write one question that you have about college. And you don't need to put your name on it. It's just whatever you want to share. But I am going to ask that you just leave that Post-it here before you leave this room in about 20 minutes. A question that you have about college. Any question that you have about college. If you don't have to put your name, but if you want me to respond to your question via email, you can leave your email and I'll respond to your question via email. That's completely optional. What's not optional is that you write a question. Any questions about the question? Okay, I'll give us like 2 minutes for that. Scribbles. So I think most people have written a question. If you have not written one question, I'll give you like 30 seconds to write something down, even if it's not exactly what you wanted to write. we have about 10 minutes left together. I'm gonna breeze through some resources and then leave a little bit of time for questions. So some resources that you should be aware of, there's an advising team at the iSchool. You probably heard about them at orientation, which you went to. Did y'all meet or hear of Dwell? Cool. So Dwell is awesome, but very busy. The preferred way of asking a non-urgent question is to send an email. If it's like an urgent question, you can go to drop-ins or set up an appointment. But having been Dwell's colleague for a year, I can tell you that most questions that students come to us with, they think it's urgent, but it's not. So please be mindful of that. If you're willing to wait at the ridiculously long, crowded, stuffy MGH 420, you're welcome to. If you feel kind of rushed in your time with Dwell after waiting 2 hours to see him, it's because this has a lot of students that needs help. Please be understanding of that. So you're welcome to send an email to informatics@edu anytime. We also have peer advisors who help answer many of those questions. Peer advisors are like upperclassmen informatics students. They're fantastic. And if you have a career-related question, you can email iCareers@edu.
Bob, your idea to move our workflows to the cloud with
email that I
ServiceNow
used
is
to
terrific. Got any
monitor,
others?
but I don't
could
work there
always
anymore, so
promote
I
me
don't
to senior
monitor
vice
that.
president.
And if I were to be very honest,
Right, yeah, I was
the senior
kidding.
service
Total
team right
joke,
now is understaffed because
ServiceNow
me and
works for you.
several other advisors left.
Hi, I'm
recently,
Jay Farner,
and they're
CEO of
hiring
Quicken
right
Loans.
now, a lot.
30% of Americans who are
Right.
planning home
So
improvements
the
of
wait times
$5,000
right now
or more
might be
will
a
pay
little
for those
longer than
renovations
what we
with a
really want it
high-interest
to
credit
be.
card. That
But
may
do
not
know
be a
that
great
when you
idea.
write,
A
that it
better
is
idea
received,
may be to
and
take
they're
cash
doing
out of your
every-
home with a Quicken.
You?
Cooler
Please
temps
use
call
it.
for more time inside. And at Macy's Home Sale, you'll get an extra 20%
Drop-in
off
hours
with your coupon or Macy's
at
card.
Mary Gates Hall
Refresh your bedroom and
420.
bathroom with all
It's
the
intended for
luxuries of
quick
hotel
questions.
collection. Now 40
Current
plus an
students
extra
like you will be
20% off.
prioritized.
Then update the room
If you're in
everyone
a
hangs out
truly
in with our lowest price of the
life-altering,
season on an
urgent
86-inch Radley
situation,
sofa.
you should not
Just
be going to drop-in
$639.
hours. You should be like calling
Plus, the perks
911.
keep coming with Macy's Star Rewards. You'll
Do
get
what you
benefits no
need.
matter how you pay. Savings off sale
If
prices,
you
exclusions
have,
apply.
if you're waiting in the queue and you feel like really like I cannot be waiting and this is really time sensitive, let the person at the front desk know. They will ask you what your question is, and then they will find the way to expedite your question if appropriate. Please trust the judgment call of the staff there, because imagine if all of you came in saying I have an urgent question, which happens more often than we think. Appointments. Have y'all gotten access to iCareers, Simplicity system? You should have. You should have gotten an auto-generated email from this thing called iCareers, Simplicity, either or. You should log in. That's a really great resource. That's where you can make appointments with your advisors. As in, you don't have to wait. Oh, there's the link right there. That's the short link. If you go to the short link, which is the same link as what you got in your email, it will prompt you to log in with, I think, your UW sign-on that ID, I think. Just do what it says to do, and then you'll get access. This is only for iSchool students, so there are a lot of students who long for this that don't have it. Use it. Concerns about academics. I'm not the person to talk to. Someone emailed me a few weeks ago saying I did an internship and I want to see if I can get academic credit for it. I would love to help you with that, but I can't help you with that. Informatics@edu.edu is the right email for that. And then there's a lot of other academic support offices on campus as well beyond the iSchool. So if you have like a learning disability or any circumstance that you think could enhance your learning at the UW, there are people who are here to support you and want to make these adjustments for you. If it's for this class and you feel comfortable telling me directly, you can tell me directly and I'll make adjustments. But if you want some external facilitation, you can go through DRS, which is at the base level of Mary Gibbs Hall. And I'll make things work, or they'll make things work for you. And then there's a bunch of UW iSchool policies as well that you've probably heard about at orientation. They're all important things, but the TLDR version is respect each other. Check your email at least once a day. That's about it. Okay, questions? Using right now. Preferably it'll just be phone because I don't really want to see what you look like at like 9 p.m. Right? So if you want to talk, is there. But hopefully you know, the weekly touch points that we have are regular enough touch points for your questions to be answered in our short time together. Does that make sense? Cool. Okay, so that is all for today. If you could just leave a post-it here. Again, if you want me to respond to your question, I could email you and respond to you, leave your email, but no obligation for that whatsoever. But I'll see you guys next week at the same time here. Thank you. Thank you.